Hello, everyone. Welcome back to I Deserve It. This is Michaela, and we are here for episode 3. I'm super pumped about today. My two best friends in the whole world have decided to come on the show, and they're just going to be talking about the difficulties of watching me in a toxic relationship, how they kind of handled things, different things that triggered them, and just like a conversation between us about that whole experience. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm hoping that their outside perspective might be able to help some of you that have friends or loved ones going through that situation. If you are the one in a bad situation, then maybe this will kind of shine a light on what your friends might be feeling with that. I can only hope that it will be useful. But it definitely was really helpful to me to be able to talk to them about it and actually hear what they were feeling, because I don't think that we've ever actually talked in depth. I'm really excited to be able to share this with you guys, and I hope that you enjoy. On a different note, we did record this via Zoom because clearly we are 5,000 miles away and they can't just come to Hawaii, right? So I was really struggling with trying to figure out a platform for recording my guests, and I am still struggling trying to figure it out. So we recorded this meeting via Zoom. The sound is really shitty, and I'm sorry about that. I mean, it works for this episode, but hopefully by the time I have another guest on my show, we will have this situation fixed. So please bear with me on the quality. The content is amazing, and I hope that you guys find it useful. Lexi, my best friend since 7th grade, and Shelby, my other best friend since 7th grade. Didn't even realize that I've been friends with you the same amount of time.
I guess I didn't either. I was thinking about it and I was like, that's kind of weird. I didn't even know.
I know. So how many years is that? 16?
Oh my God.
Right?
That's amazing.
That's such a long time. Okay. And so my best friends from me moving 2.5 hours away to 5,000 miles away.
Yeah. Yes, it's very weird to think about that you're that far.
I know.
Especially because I would just go and visit you random weekends and, just hang out with you. And yeah, too far to do that now. I know, me too.
I just wanted to talk to you guys about what it was like for you when I was in such a bad relationship, because that's 4 years. And honestly, I think during that 4 years, I don't think I saw you guys very much.
Not
at all. Well, because it was hard to be around that and you, because you were so different then too.
And I think, right. And I had a lot of people making different comments about red flags and things. And I kind of mentioned before that, I think I knew that it was bad, but I was already so deep in this position. So I think for people that haven't been through it or have to watch someone go through it, what is some advice that you would give to someone that has to watch their friend go through that?
I think just checking on them. That's honestly the best thing you could do, because you can't change their minds. That's for sure. You could try, you could be there, but definitely checking in on them is the best thing.
Yeah. I think it was really hard to try to visit you, because it was hard watching you change and how he changed you. And honestly, you could just see how hurt you were at every event that I try to go to. So I think I'm used to seeing happy, crazy Michaela. And then you went from this muted, just being there person. So as much as I wanted to visit, I think it was really hard. And like Shelby said, just being there is just checking in on you and making sure you were doing okay and checking on the babies and stuff. And then obviously I talked to your mom a lot, so that really helped me.
Do you guys ever feel mad at me? What is she doing?
maybe during it, I mean, I would say I definitely was, because I was actually going through some old text messages, and, there was one that you're like, we broke up. And then like the next day you text me, you're like, just never mind. Don't like, we're back together. It's fine. And then you text me again. You're like, you're mad at me, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, because, this is like the 17th time it's happened. And yeah, it was always hard to watch that because you just kept falling in. You would do okay, then you'd fall back in. And yeah.
I mean, the mom and me felt upset with you that you would stay for your kids, but then, I know you want to stay for your kids because he's the dad. And I never got mad at you. It sucked. I don't know. I was pretty upset that you just stayed with him, but I know what it feels like to be in love or to love somebody, think you love them and you want to help them or you want to change them. And that's all you wanted to do. So I know you wanted him to get better. And I thought you were going to be the one to change him, but shit happens.
Do you feel like when I finally did leave him, like, did you know that it was like final? Like, did you get that vibe from me?
I did.
I didn't.
The last time, like, you finally like left, I did, because I visited you like 2 times that month. It's when he broke into your house and broke all your shit and destroyed your house. And I was there like the day after it happened. And it was that the time where he just went back to jail, I guess. Like, I just knew like you were done. And like when you tell me about Gary and stuff, I just knew she's crazy about this fucking dude from Hawaii that she's never met. Like, that's all you talk about. I'm like, oh, you FaceTime me. Okay, yeah, I get it. Gary, he's perfect. And he is. So I agree. Like, after I was gonna say, like, and spent the week with him, yeah, he's perfect. Like, remember when I left, we hugged and he was like getting emotional with me. He was like, don't make me, like, we were all tipsy. Yeah. It was sweet. But yeah, I just knew when you started talking about him, because let's be real, you dated between, and we know the guys I was there when you told me about all these dudes you dated, and they fixed your shower.
We won't
for you
mention the Tinder guys. We won't mention them.
No. But yeah, when you said about Gary, that was definitely different than all them. So that's how I knew.
Notice a change in me now as far as like how I am? Do I feel like normal or like better?
That's not even a question. It's so obvious just by looking at you, No, like, I'm just being a smart ass, but seriously, like, you can just tell, like, you're just, the way you carry yourself is so different. And like, how like shy you get and shit sometimes, like you're not like that very much anymore. Like, it's awesome to see, because you've always been like that. You just needed a boost.
Well, to be honest, I haven't actually seen like the real you for some plus years. So just seeing you with Gary, I think he like made you a better you, from the quitting smoking. You changed a lot in a good way. But like I said, I haven't actually seen you be.
No, we don't even know who that is.
So yeah, I don't know who that is either. But I'm glad she's gone and you're new. Fresh.
So there's probably like a lot of uncomfortable situations that maybe I've like put you guys in, like, while I was in that relationship, and like the one that just like destroys me the most from the inside out is your wedding, Lexi.
Oh my God, stop.
But like,
yeah.
I want to hear like you talk about like what you saw like on your wedding day when you're supposed to be worried about you, like what you saw and like observed and how it made you feel.
Well, I mean, I knew from the get-go, the whole being late thing and the whole starting arguments thing, I thought that was fine. And I actually thought like maybe if he had a few drinks, he'd change, like have a little bit of fun throughout the wedding. But then I seen you walk down the aisle and you look scared. And you just look like you shouldn't be next to my groomsmen walking down the aisle, like you were timid. And at that point, I actually thought it was physical abuse. And I didn't think it would escalate the way that it did. It didn't affect my day at all. I don't want you to think that you didn't do anything wrong. And at that point, I just thought it was physical. And then the girls came and got me and said, you were arguing in that room. And apparently he got really close to you. And I didn't know any of this. And they were trying to keep it from me. And I didn't like that at all. Like, I don't want anything to happen to you. And Cam will find him. So I don't think you did anything wrong and you didn't ruin my day. So I don't want you to think you did either.
For like either one of you to get married is such a big deal to me. And so it's just like a really important time, And so like missing your rehearsal and your rehearsal dinner and all of this because we were just like fighting like nonstop. And then like driving so stupid that the brakes just like go out on our car. So we had to like turn around and go back home and like trade cars. And it was just this silent car ride that was awful. We like finally get to the hotel and everything. And we're still just like fighting and it's awful. And then, the next day he's just like drops me off like at your venue and says that he's just like going home and I need to like figure it out. And took my phone, right? So I have none of my own memories from that day, which really sucks. Like I don't have anything. And so I didn't like get to stay and enjoy it with you. Like I had like 2 drinks and I missed Gina's speech, which like broke my heart, and there's just like, I couldn't just like fully enjoy myself. And then I just felt so bad, like that we were outside fighting and all of this stuff because it just like wouldn't stop. And I did feel so much relief, like when he left. And then, he like came back and blah, blah, blah. And then when we finally left and like went to the hotel, like we had a long talk and everything was fine. And then whenever you called me because Cam was really drunk in the car, I was like, okay, like here's your time to like reinvent yourself to her, like come help her. And then we got to your hotel and he was just like so standoffish.
Awful. That was awful.
It was so bad.
I'm not kidding. I've never had a man like talk to me like that. I've never been in your position. I've never been looked at the way he looked at me that night. And I just wanted help with Cam. And I'm like, I very friendly when I'm drunk. So I'm not going to stick up for myself, but to have my best friend, help me lift this grown man who's just straight dead weight of my husband. Like, I just want to get him to the hotel. And this dude just sat in the car, just staring at us. And then it ended up being a fight with you because you touched another guy and you helped him. And
well, he kept saying that he thought we were trying to put him in some kind of position where like, if Cam came out of it, would like try to fight him and then he would like, get in trouble or something, him. Right?
My drunk, incoherent husband, literally blacked out, is going to wake up and try to fight you.
Right.
No.
And so
just the insecurity that man felt was awful.
Well, once we took him up to the hotel, he was like, that was just a plan that you guys developed for you to go up there and see some other guy, is what he kept saying.
But he always did that to you.
Got married.
He did that to you all the time. No matter what, if you had to go get your oil changed, that guy. If you had to go, like everything, you couldn't do anything.
I mean, I was worried about her walking with the groomsmen because I didn't want anything to happen to Cam's friend. And the way, like, I have pictures of him sitting in the audience, he looks very mean. He does not look happy. And, he ruined your frickin' time and that was awful. And I understood with the whole, you can only drive so far and you can only do so much. And there is push and pull, but I just wish he would have left for your sake. And you could have enjoyed a lot, but you stayed for pictures and that meant a lot to me. And I'm glad. I thought he was going to keep you from the pictures, or I thought he was going to stay around and hover there. So that's nice.
Yeah, I was really worried about it.
I think you handled it great.
I wish we could just like do it over.
We can.
We can do it. You're like,
and I'll be in it this time.
Be a 10-year anniversary someone.
And remember to tell Cam it's okay for him to just like blow out my wedding, right?
I'll get him blacked out drunk again.
I think what's going to be so crazy is like when we come home to visit, literally for all of our lives, I've never dated someone that was involved with you guys really. And so I'm literally always by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it'll just be really weird to have someone like be with me to do stuff, or like us as like a family, like with the kids, like doing stuff. Like it's just going to be so strange.
I think it's nice seeing you get the help, and he helps so much, and you're not just a single parent, which you were your entire life, just him not being there also. It's just nice to see another parent in the picture, and plus you work too hard anyway, so he's a good fit.
I also think that he's taught you to be more patient too. Because I was there. I mean, I went and visited all the time around the kids, and they have been asses a lot of the times. They've been mean, and you had a hard time handling it because you were just so overwhelmed with everything. Like, it was hard. Like you didn't want to deal with it. And now you're much more patient with them. Like when I was there, they're much more structured. I don't think that he like did it all himself, obviously, but I think that he encouraged you to be like, hey, we could do this and this, and like a bedtime, but before you were it was just too much of a, it was too hard for you then. Like you were going through all that. It was just too much. So I definitely seen that the last time I was there, that you were much more patient with them.
It is a lot like easier now just because I don't feel like I have so much like on my plate, know, and
you're not
like,
alone.
Right. And, I've been staying home with them, which when we first got here was still so hard for me to do, and I couldn't handle it. And now that time has just like really progressed, like it's become so much easier to like be home with them. And this is honestly like the first time ever that they've ever had any kind of like routine or structure.
Right.
Where like for you, Shelby, did you have like any moments of like being around or anything that just like made you really uncomfortable, or like things that you noticed?
I was just always uncomfortable around him, but I remember at Devin's birthday party, the Sesame Street themed one.
Mm-hmm.
He was in he was working on the car, and then you and I were trying to get stuff ready, and he was just mean, just get out of the way, all this stuff. And then he shows up to the party late, like you and I and your mom set up like everything, and your grandma, and he was late. And then like while he was opening presents, he's just on his phone. And I said, oh, look what I was sitting by him. I was like, look what Devin got. He's like, okay. And he just went back on his phone. Like he just didn't care. And like, it made me so angry because it's like, this is your kid. Like now now he doesn't have that and he regrets it. Like it's crazy. I don't know, but that's like something that really stuck with me. Like he just didn't care. And like you put so much effort into it. He didn't help at all. And yeah, that's just one moment out of a couple. Like it's never been an enjoyable time. He's messaged me before, and he's like, I never told you about this, but he messaged me one time, Michaela doesn't like you and stuff. And like,
are you serious?
Yeah. Oh, I have it on Facebook. Yeah. He messaged me like you and I were supposed to hang out, and you said something about him. Like you guys were fighting or something. And that's what he messaged me. And he's like, that's why she doesn't like hanging out with you. Like he said, but I knew that wasn't like true. And that's what I didn't want to tell you and shit, because there's some stuff like, it's just not worth it. Like, it's not worth saying. Like you're already under enough stress from him. But that showed his character too, him doing that.
That is so crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah, but he messaged me on his Facebook.
I mean, I think like being in that position, like it wouldn't have helped anything, right, for you to tell me at that time. Right. Yeah. But that is so wild. I had no idea.
Yep.
I will say that like, so obviously our relationship was so toxic, but I feel like we were really toxic for each other. And I started to develop this like reactive, like, I don't even know like what the word is. I was just starting to dish it like back out. Right. And it was really scary to like see myself like that. I literally tried to take a door off the hinges, and I broke a door. I broke a window. I like beat the shit out of our garage door. Like, it was like making me so crazy. And then he would just like tell me I was crazy.
And all your text messages like between us, a lot of them back then were always like, but Shelby, it's not him. Like it's something I did. It's me. Like he talked to me about it, and it's totally me. It was me. It was really me.
Always you.
Like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Like, and it got to a point where we just kind of had to agree because we didn't want to argue. Like we were so sick of arguing. And but yeah, that's all it was. It was always that.
It's just like hearing the same thing.
If I need to do this because, he's bringing up this, and this. And you're like, well, I can see where I used my attitude here. And I have had long days. So I am extra cranky and I have been taking it out on him. And I'm like, well, he has been home this entire time. He has not been working. You're pregnant. You're doing this. And I'm like, you're putting your all. And he would just drive into you. Your insecurities would be brought up. And that's like, he found your weak point, and he's like, you're not doing anything around the house. You're not doing this. Your attitude sucks. And he would just drive you. Like he brought out the worst in you, and you'd be a different person, and you wouldn't be happy anymore. But you were like, I'm going to change for him because, I know what I'm doing wrong, and I'm going to work on me now.
No.
Like, it's not about you though.
It never was. That's the thing.
It's always been about him.
Do you guys remember my baby shower for Devin?
Yeah, that's one of my moments.
Where was that at?
Describe it. At my mom's house when I looked like complete shit.
Well, one, it was like 3 hours. What was it for me? 3 hours?
Yeah, about 3 hours to drive. Yeah.
About 3 hours. I'm already ready. Everything. I think I brought the kids. I don't know. And she texted me on my way there, and she's like, I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm going to cancel. It's over. I already told people not to come. And I'm like, no, don't do that. It's your freaking baby shower. And he said he was going to be there, and he decided not to be there. I don't know why, but it was just freaking heartbreaking to see you like that on, such a big day of your life. And you're pregnant with his child, and you want to cancel your party. And it's a party for your child. Like, these people are bringing gifts, and he didn't even want that. And he didn't want to be there for that. And it's like, you're not welcome in this house because we don't like you anymore. Like, your mom did not want him there, but she, it's a baby shower. You're going to come, you're going to celebrate your kid. And he still didn't even want to do that with you. And then I show up there, and you're freaking depressed. There's maybe 3 people there now because you told people not to come, and that broke me. I don't want to see you like that. And that reminds me of Devin's birthday party and what Shelby was going through. She was texting me everything that was happening there because I wasn't there. I'm like, yeah, it sounds just like the baby shower because he decided not to show up. And if it's like not about him, then it's about no one. Like, it's got to be about him, and it can't even be about his own child.
Well, that pregnancy was very like, that's not my kid. I was
just going to say that.
Yeah. And so he actually thought I planned the baby shower at my mom's to make sure he couldn't go, wanted some little thing to be able to get some stuff or whatever. And, he took that as like some dad, right? Quotes is going to come.
Some random guy.
Yeah. Whoever is the father of my child, right? Because he's not saying that it wasn't him.
Right. And the whole, up until like recently, like a year ago, he still said it like that Devin's literally like, he looks a lot like him. He's a good mix between both of you. Exactly. And
I mean, he's his twin.
Yeah. That made me that was one of the things that made me sick was like when you like stayed with him, even though he said that. It's like, how can you be with somebody and like when you were so faithful to him for no reason? You shouldn't have been. You should have left it a long time ago. But yeah, you did now, and you're so it's just amazing how much life has, because you've always gotten shit on your whole life. It's always been something. My God, if anybody has the worst luck in the world, sometimes it's you. So it's so
absolutely.
well, and just in general, like cars. Well, and apartments sometimes too, but it's fine.
And apartment.
But like, yeah, it's just so, I don't know. It's so crazy. Like your life is too perfect for you. Like everything's perfect. And it has been for like, yeah, like a year and a half, and it's crazy. And I'm so happy because you deserve it. You've always deserved it. You just never, for some reason, got it. And maybe it's because of this reason. Because it was so perfect. It's so perfect now. You had to wait.
Maybe I had to get all the bad stuff out first.
Yep.
There you go.
How'd you guys feel like when I got pregnant? So the first time was exciting, right? Because it was so new.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was fun.
And it was
but
a
I was
girl.
so scared. Yeah, exactly.
And it was a girl.
But with Devin,
Honestly, I just thought he kind of like, I thought he trapped you.
for
like,
sure.
I was like, so
Yep.
this is what he wanted. He wanted 18 to life. Devin planned?
None of them were planned.
Oh my
They were both purely accidental. Devin, especially the most accidental, because I remember my conversation with you, Shelby, when I told you I was pregnant. I was sitting in my grandma's garage and I literally was just like, I hate everything.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, not planned at all.
Oh, my stomach. Like, I just think about that moment and I get like, but like, I mean, obviously everything's beautiful now, but it was hard, like, because you guys were not doing well then. You guys were not doing good at all. So it was, yeah, really hard. And then, like you said, the whole fucking time you were pregnant, he, accused you of it being like another person. And like, when did you have time to even look at another person? He was always with you. You always had to text them. I mean, like that post you made about work, you had to tell him where you were, what time it was. I mean, I can't think of how many times you and I had to get off FaceTime or like stop talking or something because he needed you. And yeah, need you then. And it's just so crazy.
I think at one point I was so scared to talk to you because I know he was texting me sometimes. And I know that he had your phone, a lot. So
Yes.
I'm just like, I can't have my personal conversations with you anymore. I felt like he was controlling you. He went to work for long hours and he had your phone all day.
right.
And because you only have one phone. And I just felt like he was going through everything New Year's and I never know when he had it. And I just wanted to talk to you. And I think that's where I like kind of drove off a little bit. I gave some space and I was pretty worried about you. And then the baby happened and stuff. And I think I just went to your mom a lot because she was closer to you and she could be there and she was seeing how you were and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And she was your rock.
There's probably plenty of times where I was ready to like cut her off because she was very blunt about it.
Right.
And, she tried to talk sense into me, but not push me. Right. And then it just got to the point where she was like, you're being stupid. And so I'm really glad I didn't like cut her off. But when I told her I was pregnant with Devin, she's like, I don't know if I should hug you or smack you. Like that was her reaction.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It was, and it was bad. Like I felt so bad because I'm just like, cool, like I'm pregnant. I don't want this kid. Like I absolutely did not. And that was like really hard for me. And I think honestly, like from that pregnancy is like where things like spiraled the worst. Cause I mean, they were always kind of bad, but like once we moved into like that nice house, and everything, and like we had both the kids and that was supposed to be like our starting over like fresh point. And that's where it was like the absolute worst.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Did he go to any appointments?
For Devin?
Yeah.
I didn't ask him to. And then he got mad because I didn't invite him. I just kind of felt like, it's kid number 2 and I'm not even joyous about it. So like, what do you care? I invited him to the like the ultrasounds and stuff. So, I mean, I think he went to that, like the gender ultrasound, but pretty much it. And the hospital was like really rough because like he didn't even want to be there.
Yeah.
Do you think he ruined any of your pregnancies?
Completely. I am at the point where like I want to have another baby because yes, like I love Gary and I want us to have a baby, but also like, how much I always like look forward to like having kids, like from taking care of your kids and everything. And like, I finally got the opportunity, and my pregnancies were terrible. They were so bad. And, the childbirth was awful. I mean, Olivia's wasn't bad. Like, he was pretty good for that. But I mean, the experience, like, my body's just not made for giving birth. But like with Devin's, like, that was absolutely awful. And the nurses were like leaving the door open because they were like worried to shut it. And so I just really want to go through that experience again in like a positive way. Yeah.
Like pregnancy, you're supposed to be glowing and happy, and you're supposed to somewhat enjoy it,
Yeah.
And you need a do-over.
I know. So I can't wait to do that.
Yay! I can't either.
I know. That'll be nice. And, actually, like, okay, so I got married, right, at the end of high school, and then I got divorced, and then I met this guy, and then we had kids, and it's just like never been good. And now I'm just like, okay, like I'm so ready to have like a nice wedding, like with my best friends the right way, and to be able to like have a baby on purpose.
Right. Yeah.
Plan it. But I thought it was really important for you guys. A lot of people have like sent emails saying just like, yeah, someone in this situation, like it's stupid that they won't leave. And like, you knew it was dumb, but you somewhat understood like why I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And I always, I would talk about you to my therapist and stuff, because I was like, I don't know how to be there for her, but be like honest with her. And she always just said, checking on her, just call her. We would FaceTime and stuff. But like Lexi said, like he had your phone a lot of the time. So like I would know it was him texting because he like couldn't spell or didn't use correct grammar. Like, and then you're perfect. And like, so I could tell the difference. But like, yeah, it's just, I just think it's so important to check in and be there, because it's a hard time, even though you're mad. I remember sitting on my porch and crying to you one day. Like, I don't know if you remember that. And we were FaceTiming, and I was just like, I am so sad and sick of all this for you. And you didn't even care. Like, you didn't care. And that's what was like crazy to me, because we cry over cat videos on YouTube, so like for you not to even care, that's how numb you were to everything. And
yeah, it's like you were physically there, but like mentally you weren't. Like anything I said, you would just like take it in one ear and out the other. And you never took advice, and I know you were brainwashed, and I accepted that. But I know what you were doing, and I know what you were trying to do, and I know you loved him. But we couldn't tell you one thing, because it was either all something you did or something you can change, or just you didn't listen to anything.
Nope.
And I know they say love is blind, I guess. I don't know. But I wanted to help you, and I talked to Jessica all the time. And I just wanted to help you, but I couldn't, And then all you can do is just be there. Like Shelby said, you can't really do anything else. But, if it came down to it, and I know your safety was in danger, then, that's when I'd step in. But it was never physical that I know of.
No, it was not.
But he broke you.
For sure.
And you're like one of the happiest people I've ever met.
It was really hard to like revert back to that, obviously. But I think like just you guys being there, like if I needed something and just to be like, how are you doing? Like that was so much, because if you would have just like left, then when I finally did leave, then I just would have had nobody,
Right.
And so that was rough. But I'm just like really happy that you guys decided to like come on my show and share your perspective. And I really hope that it will help other people that have friends like going through the same thing.
Yeah. Just don't be mad at them. Be patient. Still.
Yeah, like as much as you want to hate her.
Yeah.
It's not her.
No.
Well, I love you guys.
Love you.
I love you.